The Spot XRP exchange-traded fund is launched for the very first time. It is only the beginning of the first half. There is an enormous quantity of information that we must examine at this location. On the first day, I will explain to you what happened with Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, and, of course, XRP. It is certain that this information will be updated on a constant basis. I believe that you are deserving of it, so I felt compelled to fill you in on what was happening. It is a day of immense significance for Ripple and XRP, as it should be apparent to those who have read thus far. Take a moment to consider that. We are going to begin by getting to the heart of the matter. Therefore, it appears that Canary Capital is the source of this. The Spot XRP ETF, which is referred to as XRPC, has been made available to the public by Canary Capital. Following that, the subject of the discussion is the XRP system. XRP is a decentralized blockchain that concentrates on speed in cross-border transactions, as stated at its inception in 2012. The purpose of its creation was to make it easier for individuals all over the world to send money swiftly and cheaply. A large number of individuals consider XRP to be a means of transferring funds between conventional financial institutions and digital currency, and it does discuss the significance of possessing knowledge. Although there is data available, there is also a risk that is constantly changing, as well as investments. The market capitalization of XRPC was $26 million in the first half of the year, according to Eric Bahamas. On the very first day, we observed a number of different things while we were arriving in Solana, and this constitutes around half of those observations. The XRP community and its vast following made their presence known at an early stage and issued threats to both Ethereum and Solana. Is quite likely to surpass BSOL's 57 million, which was the highest number of people to show up on launch day this year, and says, yes, I'm going to totally astonish my guests who are spending $17 million. That is the reason we will be present at the most significant launch. That will be ours and ours alone. Nobody else will have it. Without a doubt, that is going to be ours. We apologize to the residents of Solana, but we believe that our community is superior. Do you not agree with that statement? The inhabitants of Solana make it clear that the degens are in a very serious civil war. Although some members of the XRP community consider Solana to be the most significant thing in existence, I am fond of this community because it is so tranquil and serene. Stephen McClurg, the Chief Executive Officer of Canary Capital, discusses the reasons why assets such as XRP, Litecoin, Solana, and HBR should be included in exchange-traded funds, ETFs, in this video, which was taken only a few days ago. Following this, I would want to make some further comments. In addition to this, about a year ago, we observed a potential opportunity for alternative coin exchange-traded funds. As a result of this, we began to make progress in that direction. We have reached this point after starting out with exchange-traded fund files for Litecoin, Hedera, Solana, and XRP. Indeed, the initial four were distinct from one another, but it all began there. The remaining two will still go on with their plans to take off, and they are expected to do so in the near future. Is it correct to say that a number of these financial institutions were very swiftly discarding items that were becoming outdated? There were not a lot of folks who were enthusiastic. There is widespread participation in cryptocurrency among individuals of all age groups, from young to elderly, when there is exciting, cutting-edge technology being developed in the industry. This is perceived to be the wave of the future by a significant number of individuals. You will be able to exchange your currency for other currencies and maintain a constant amount of money on a daily basis. It is just insane how many things are happening in this place right now. You now have Canary and 2Cream, both of whom claim that these older items could perhaps be of some service. Once their time has expired, it is our responsibility to sever our relationship with them and to invest our funds in these new goods that will bring about a revolution in the field of finance. Would you agree that it appears to be a wonderful concept that would unquestionably result in a greater amount of income for many of these businesses? You did an excellent job. After that, there comes this attempt to obtain Chad Stein. If 5 million ETF shared units are sold, we anticipate that 130 million units will be sold on the very first day of the launch. We are performing some mathematical calculations in an attempt to determine what the significance of the initial hours is and what this could develop into by the time the day comes to a close. They believe that the number will be approximately 130 million. Absolutely. As soon as I obtain all of the necessary information, I will provide you with a complete report. The video in question will be the very first one to be released tomorrow. You must make it a priority to find the video as soon as you get up in the morning. Starting on the very first day, you will be able to view every single number. During the first 2 hours, XRPC remained constant at 1.432, and trading of ETF shares took place at a high rate. If we put in the effort, there is no doubt that we would be able to obtain that 100 million. If Solana's first day were to be twice as long, it would be fantastic. It appears that many individuals desire that. It was Nate Garassi who eventually informed us that the initial 1933 X-Spot XRP ETF webpage is now available for viewing. This one is a cryptocurrency asset that comes with Solana, Ethereum, and Bitcoin and is packaged in an exchange-traded fund. In light of this, the sole reason that I felt motivated to act was to accumulate some further material that you could review. Just in case you're curious to hear more about the particulars, I don't feel like rereading this at the moment because we have already discussed a great deal of the subject matter. You have the option of pausing the film at this point and reading the information that is displayed on the screen in order to gather additional information regarding the launch. This information includes the price of the launch as well as the date and time it will take place, the topic of the amount of trade which has already been discussed. Having been stated that, I had the impression that this information would be beneficial to you in the event that you were interested in learning more about this without any assistance from others. Although they will not be as obvious, it is possible that you will see features of this kind here from now on. I did some research on the early history of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana so that I could provide you with this comprehensive report. Despite the fact that this figure might not be entirely accurate, Ethereum's first day of trading saw a volume of more than $1 billion, with around $108 million pouring in at the beginning of that day. In the end, there were 4.5 billion Bitcoins, of which 655 million were returned. In order for you to have a sense of when they were released, the following are the times. I was under the impression that this film was excellent. The person speaking to you is Dan Tapiero. As the founder of 10T Holdings, he is gradually but steadily coming to accept the idea that Ripple and XRP encountered and overcame a great number of challenges that other people believed that they would never be able to overcome. And he does agree with Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple that they are representing the interests of the entire cryptocurrency community. I got to the conclusion that this was extremely significant because it happened at a particularly crucial moment. Ripple and XRP will attract the attention of a larger number of institutional investors if they receive support from a greater number of rational individuals. Indeed, that is precisely what we are in need of. Despite the fact that I am not a fan of XRP, I must commend the coin for reaching this point. Ripple has, in my opinion, transformed into something similar to a holding corporation over the course of time. It is a collection of assets that are situated in the context of digital assets. It is for that reason that I believe it possesses worth. Some people may be more enthusiastic about the long-term use of the XRP ETF as a result of the fact that it is now manufactured in the United States of America. I am saying that Brad Garlinghouse ought to be lauded for his collaboration with Trump and his continued collaboration with Trump. I had the impression that they have been working diligently at this location for quite some time. Absolutely, it is correct. Get into an argument with the chief executive officer and his or her team from the previous Security and Exchange Commission. I mean, reflecting back on the past 4.5 years of my life, I recall the way in which we made it through this difficult time together, hearing about the case and then not seeing any advancement in the United States with Ripple and XRP. We were completely exhausted. If you want to know where we were at, Brad got called for a significant number of things. Was it the case that Chris Stewart Alderati and the rest of the Ripple group and team were not particularly helpful in getting that accomplished? Ripple had the support of the group at every single turn. Is it quite a bit, correct? To put it another way, we have made the decision that the treasure will be used in a significant manner in the future. The amount of assistance that you require is not something that you are able to purchase either. The process of obtaining that type of support requires a great deal of trust, among other things. In addition, it has a significant impact on me. Please leave your thoughts in the comments section. I would want to hear whether or not you are in agreement with me. Indeed, I would like that. There are actually more exchange-traded funds that are being launched here. It is obvious that there are a great number of things that are in the process of coming. This will make it possible for large institutions to invest a significant amount of capital in these projects, despite the fact that not all of them will be successful. While I realize that these are difficult to distinguish, the dates, firms, XRP, and X are as follows. There is just no logical explanation for it. So let me just make things easy to understand, okay? On the 13th of November, there was the Canary. Between the 14th and 18th of November, there was the Franklin Templeton. Between the 19th and 20th of November, there was the Bitwise. Between the 20th and 22nd of November, there were the 21 shares and coin shares. And lastly, at the end of November, there were the Grayscale and Wisdom Tree. Due to the magnitude of the funds that are being overseen, there is significant potential for growth in this area. This is the point at which matters are going to become contentious. We are hopeful that this is the moment that will attract major institutional investors who are expected to put a significant amount of capital into these products. It is our expectation that this will be the method by which billions of dollars will be acquired. In addition, I upload 3 or 4 films every single day. If you are unfamiliar with our channel and have not previously heard of XRP, you should check them out. I attempt to make this entertaining and engaging because individuals watch 12 to 13 hours of television per day on average. Additionally, I make a commitment that I will be there for you no matter what. The act of clicking like on the film is sufficient to demonstrate your appreciation for the channel. In the space provided, write down your views and ideas. Men, you are free to do as you choose. I am very grateful for the time that you have given me. I am quite grateful. It is a fortune for you that you possess it. Now is the time for us to take a closer look at this. In the month of April, Versant stated that the XRP ETF is expected to become an important method by which financial institutions can acquire and sell digital assets. Companies such as BlackRock are preparing themselves to participate. Everything is evident. The method by which XRP is incorporated into systems that exist in the real world, as well as the concept of adoption liquidity, will be altered as a result of this. In addition to that, he has written this brief article on exchange-traded funds. I am more than happy to read this aloud for you if you would want me to. This is my position about the approval of XRP ETFs. Exchange-traded funds, or ETFs, have long struck me as a disreputable means of making money from something that a person does not, in fact, own. That is precisely what occurred in markets that were more typical. They permit anyone to observe and make educated guesses without actually getting involved in the process using this method. I am confident that the trading of XRP ETFs will become more widespread. It is evident that this is all a part of a larger scheme, because the Federal Reserve that they have recently removed restrictions on banks holding cryptocurrency holdings. An increase in the popularity of the market, gambling, and liquidity, which made it easier for a greater number of people to use the market. Now I would like to discuss the things that truly upset me. Indeed, I understand. However, it is not appropriate to refer to it as decentralized finance when banks are the ones taking the lead throughout ETF. This current wave of excitement is being surfed by those who use XRP. It would not be the case if it were decentralized. That artist is only regurgitating the statements of other people. To make matters even worse, the majority of XRP is not even owned by individuals. Institutions are the owners of it. We were fortunate to arrive early so that we would be able to witness what was about to unfold. It is obvious that this is not a victory that has come from the grassroots. Therefore, put an end to your self-deception and the deception of your audience. So it is rather evident that Versana holds some interesting views regarding exchange-traded funds. Being aware of how other people are dealing with situations might be beneficial. Does the ownership of something by institutions not cause harm to individuals? Although you are able to request that these organizations pay you at any moment, they are not obligated to do so. They have the freedom to keep the asset. They will be fully capable of achieving that objective. In